Yeah. Okay.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Stumbling Towards the Eschaton. That was a little bit of Pastor doing his pre-game mojo. This is for Sunday, April 10th. It's the third Sunday of Easter. Yeah. And it's here. There's me, Nick, on the other side of the table.
Pastor Mark.
And we're going to be talking about this stuff.
Welcome back toward Stumbling Toward the Eschaton. As we always do, we look at some scripture and we talk about what's going down in the sound of your town. Oh yeah, strong bad references.
I was actually just recently too, as I was talking about in the last episode, how I just got back into Lost Tapes. I was rewatching the Homestar Runner videos.
Nice.
It's so good.
The cheat.
I actually have the soundtrack that they have. Songbad sings and many other of his friends.
Homestar Runner, man. That is such an awesome job.
That was where it's at.
I always wanted the cheetar. Remember when they made the cheetar?
Yes. I enjoyed... There's the one video where it's like hey, I can't remember the girl's name. Strong Bad's crush.
Oh, I can't remember them all.
And he's just like... And Strong Sad was watching the house for her. And he's just like, hey, Strong Sad. She said I could come over and that I could borrow her TV and her couch and her dishes and her sink and her, and so he comes in and he just takes everything out of her house. It was pretty awesome.
Honestly, my favorite Homestar Runner one was the one with it's always around Halloween and there's the marshmallow.
Okay, yep.
I can't remember what his name is, like Mellowy or whatever he is. But I think there was one line in one of them where it's like, hide under your pillow for secret eatings.
That's me
The phrase secret eatings and hiding marshmallows under your pillow for secret eatings is just, all right, let's tighten up. So, third Sunday of Easter for secret readings.
Whoa. You went full circle.
Oh, gosh, your nerdness is weird. Awesome. So, yeah, Easter carries on, my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Yeah. So... another awesome gospel text, because here's the cool thing. One of the things that not a lot of people talk about is after the resurrection is Jesus was busy before the ascension. Because between resurrection and ascension, you know what I mean, he just didn't resurrect and skip town. He did some stuff. And this is one of those awesome stories on this gospel lesson and one of the things he did. This is also a common one. And the dudes are bummed out and they go fishing. Great story with them casting fish, getting stuff, Jesus cooking some stuff for them. It's a really good story, but one of the cooler portions of it is toward the end when, they meet with Peter. Have I ever yammered to you about this one?
I don't think so.
Because I yammer a lot about a lot of stuff. About a lot. A lot of stuff. But this is a good one because this is one of those moments where sometimes understanding that the Bible wasn't written in English is useful.
Is it like a bad dubbed Godzilla movie?
No, it's going to make translation choices.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's some words that just don't translate. I don't know if you ever, read any of, what is it? Like Mental Floss or BuzzFeed or any of those sorts of things. And they'll sometimes have, words that we wish we would have in English or those sorts of things. Like this German Schadenfreude, you know what I mean? Which is joy in other people's sufferings. You know what I mean? There's a specific word for it.
Yeah.
And there's all these other words, doesn't German have, grief bacon as a word? Which is, the phrase for, when you eat when you're sad. It's grief bacon. I'm serious. There's all these words sometimes that just don't translate. Or sometimes, different languages are far more nuanced on things. I don't, I'm not in any ways study, either the Sami or the Inuit people, but there's, I think, some phrase about how an Inuit or some of those sorts of things, there's much more words for snow because being around it more, there's more variations for snow and it's far more descriptive as opposed to, well, there's heavy snow and light snow. Oh, okay. That's great. We just still have snow. You know what I mean? Which might have an adjective in front of it as opposed to conceptually something more. But what you get in this one is in Greek, there's multiple words for love. Because we have love and that's it, and then you either have to say it in certain ways to modify it or to use adjectives I love you like a friend, you know what I mean?
I love you too, Pastor.
Or I love you, man. You know that guy?
Yeah.
I love you, man. You know what I mean? But you tell your mom you love her, but that's different when you tell your girlfriend you love her. You know what I mean? That's just the gospel truth. Greek has totally different words for those. There's specific words for those sorts of things. And the thing is that always cracks me up about this is when dudes translate it, I wish they would have done a better job. Because what you got is you got these different words for love. You got eros, which is the love you have for your special lady friend.
Oh, isn't this kind of like the same situation where Jesus was deeply offended?
Well, there is that. And there's the rubbish one, which is actually fecal matter, which is also my rubbish one. Like, it's Paul. Like, I count everything as rubbish. He's like, no, man. He's like, I consider it all crap. Because it's honestly the word for poop. I mean, it's like the fecal matter sort of thing. Yeah. Like when you empty a chamber pot in ancient Greek, that's the word that Paul used. We love sanitizing stuff in the Bible. Because when we say, it's rubbish. Because we're British people. I found it all was rubbish. Church it. You know, that sort of thing. But here's the one, too, where, I mean, you have, eros, which is love for your special lady friend, which is what I love calling my wife. She hates being called that.
Special lady friend?
Yeah, because you know who uses the phrase special lady friends?
Who?
When you run into, like people where that have been, like, widowed. Like, an old guy, like, his wife has died, and, like, this woman, her husband's died, and they spend some time together. They go walking out, as the young kids say these days. And I've heard so many dudes introduce their companion as my special lady friend. I love that. Kid hates that.
It's so funny. I'll go to my girlfriend and I'll go, hey, baby cakes. And Victoria will be like, don't call me that. And I'll be like, what's the matter, baby cakes? Or I'll call her Toots, and she's like, please don't.
You call her a saucy dame?
I don't do that. But I'll be like, hey there, Toots. And she'll be like, please go away.
Dame. That's a wild phrase that needs to come back, right?
Dame, I will make the comeback.
Everybody needs to start wearing fedoras and use an awesome 20s term.
Hey, clearly you haven't hung out with Kenny.
Yeah, see?
Kenny wears a fedora and a trench coat every day.
Every day, son.
Every day.
Does he wear a waistcoat with his pocket watch?
He should.
Are you an accountant from the 20s? I am.
It's so funny because he'll have his trench coat, his fedora, and he'll take it all off, and he'll have like the neon yellow shirt, the neon yellow pants. Like that's what we call him, the highlighter, because that's what he wears.
Or the Highlander, because he wears the trench coat. What? It all comes full circle.
It was so funny. I was driving Kenny home one day, and there was someone jogging in all highlighter yellow gear, and it was an old man, like, middle-aged. And he rolls down the window.
Like middle-aged, you're killing me, man.
I'm sorry, but like, you're saying, you know what I'm saying.
I'm probably stuff in it. Picking up
and he rolls down the window, and he's like, I love you, Dad. Because he was wearing all highlighter gear, too. And the guy, like, gives him a look, and he's like, and he just continues jogging.
Hey, you know what? You gotta be careful when random people claim he's a parent. So you gotta, you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah.
I hate when people think I'm their dad.
All right, to the gospel.
Are you my dad? No.
Yeah.
No. You like nachos? I like nachos. Could be. Could be. It's genetic. So, okay, so going back on track about translation, because that whole thing got lost in translation right there. So toward the end of it, Jesus goes to Peter and he's like, hey, do you love me? Sometimes you love me more than these, yada, yada, yada. And it's interesting because Jesus uses a specific word for love, if my memory serves. He uses agape, which is this broad, awesome kind of love. And Peter responds with, I philos love you. Now, philos is like Philadelphia brotherly love. So, like your buddies, you have philos for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I got philos for you, or philos, depending upon how you want to say it, yada, yada, yada. But, that would be those sorts of things. When you're hanging out with your boys, and you're like, dude, we're going to have an awesome night. It's like a bromance. It's philos.
Okay.
Jesus and Peter had a bromance.
Ooh.
That is our theological bomb drop. Bromance.
That's the ship of the beginning of all time.
Ship of beginning of all time.
It's the ship.
The ship of beginning of all times. It sounds like a rock ballad beginning. The ship of beginnings of all time. But yeah, and so, it's the great thing. I've sometimes used the example of, let's say you're talking to your girlfriend, and she's like, I love you. And you're like, I like you too. You know what I mean? And be like, this is not going well. This is not ending well. This is no. So the first time, agape, philos. Again, Jesus, agape. Peter's like, philos.
This should be
it's like,
No, there needs to be a new translation. You know how there's the new international edition? There needs to be the new hip edition. And it's like, do you like me? Or he's like, I love you. I like you. Do you like me?
I like you.
Okay.
Do you like me? Yeah, I like you.
Yeah.
Jeez, Jesus. So nice. In the beginning,
it's That's how it works.
So, yeah. So, and then finally, the third time, Jesus says, Philos, do you love me? Peter's like, well, yeah, I Philos love you. It's this awesome thing in English because it's just, do you love me? Yeah, I love you, Jesus. Do you love me, Peter? Yeah, I love you, Jesus. You miss the nuances of it. Nuances are important. This is one of those awesomely hilarious stories where it's fascinating. Because I like, if you just listen to it, it almost seems like Jesus is being a poor jerk to Peter. Do you love me? Yeah. Do you love me? Yeah. Do you love me? You know what I mean?
I was gonna say he's
why
like,
are you totally guilting out Peter? Yeah.
he's the friend who gives the hug for too long.
Too many back pats.
Or you just like, you're like, all right, and you give your backpack and you go to like release, but he's still holding the hug in, so you have like no choice but to like re-go into the hug.
And you're like, all right, yeah, no, I gotta go. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
no,
like
I've been there.
you release your hands and then like he tightens up a little bit, like unrelenting.
Yeah, no, I've been there. It's like, you take hugging real seriously, man. I do. I want you to know. They start swaying then, dude. We're not slow dancing.
That's really funny. If you ever like look back and like a middle school dance, that's literally what all their slow dancing is.
Hug dance.
They'll hug and then they'll just bob back and forth.
Yeah,
It's so funny.
that's the word you could use for it.
It's bobbing. But it was really funny. With prom last year.
Yes.
Everybody. We're wearing like half dresses, like it was like two pieces, like really like not it's not good attire, but that's what the hip kids are wearing.
Not good attire. That's my phrase of the day.
So you had like the group of people who were all doing like the grinding and all that stuff, and then you had like me, Victoria, and like 4 other couples actually doing like swing dancing and all that stuff to like the music. It was pretty funny because everyone was doing that, and then they saw how much fun we were all having, and then everyone decided to do like the swing dance, and then we're like.
Good response to tomfoolery.
It was pretty good.
Tomfoolery.
Did I ever tell you about the anime that is about Jesus and Buddha going to high school together?
No.
That's something that you need to watch.
Maybe I'll have to watch that. Do a little research.
It's pretty great.
Thich Nhat Hanh, did he write it, man?
It was. I think it was someone else was in there too, but I just remember for sure that it was
What,
Jesus
massive
and God.
religious leaders?
Yeah, that's like what it was. They like all went to a high school
cool.
together. It was pretty great.
Dude, don't tell me they put Muhammad in there.
I think that might have been who the third one was.
Oh my gosh.
It was because like it was one of those. It was kind of like had like the Family Guy aspect. It made fun of everyone equally. You know what I'm saying? Like they did like pick on one. It was pretty great.
That's one of the reasons South Park is so respectable, is that nobody's off limits.
Yeah.
But here's the cool thing about this. So, they talk about love, yada, yada, yada. But Jesus sticks with him. Even if he's struggling to love Jesus as much as he can, even though Jesus wants more, Jesus still meets him where he is. Which is a great also thing with Thomas as well, is that we get a lot of these texts about Jesus meeting us where we're at and restoring us and giving us life and getting us where we need to be. Because, Peter improves a lot. Then you get into Acts, and he gives great sermons and these sort of things. This moment, man, is transitional for him. But Jesus meets him where he's at to get him strengthened, to get him going, to get him where he needs to be, to move forward with all these things.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Before the Passion happened, Peter was just like, I love you, Jesus. Like, I love you. Like, I'll always do everything for you. Like, all that kind of stuff. And now after, like, the events that happened, he kind of just went to, like, I like you, Jesus.
Yeah, Peter is an interesting dude with that. Peter is that one guy that I like him because he's so enthusiastic in the moment. And then all of a sudden he gets there and, like, he's like, oh, yeah, no, I got another meeting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, even, his Monday, Thursday, the washing the feet. I don't want to be washed. Well, I have to wash. You then wash everything. No, I just got to wash your feet, Peter. You know what I mean? It's like, don't do it, Jesus. I need to wash your feet. Well, you got it, Peter. Then wash my hand. No, Peter, simmer down, dude. And then it's like, hey, well, you guys were all scared of the wind. I would never leave you. I would die for you. Okay. Peter, you're going to deny me 3 times. I never would. Do you know this man? I know what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
No.
3 times. It's off the chart. Peter is just, he's the most emotional dude ever.
I know, great.
He's just like, you're the Messiah. Okay, I gotta be killed. No, that could never happen. Get behind me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He goes from within 30 seconds to be like, this is the rock to which I'll build my church, to get behind me, Satan. Peter just, The dude just needs to slow down. He's like your
Yeah.
buddy that's like, class is over, let's go!
Yeah.
And he's like tearing down the hall. There's a reason why he's called The Rock.
Can you smell what the Rock is cooking?
I always think more of Rock.
He just like rolls
You
down.
bum! Come on, you bum!
Oof.
Yo, yeah, we went to Rocky with that too.
That's pretty awesome.
Hey.
So here we go. You didn't give me anything last episode. Where have you ever felt challenged in your belief with science and all of that?
Oh, we're jumping to that?
Yeah, we're jumping to
Okay,
that.
then remind me at the end, we'll close with that. Where have I felt, oh man, with my belief in sciences. So we're jumping back on this. Brother and Sister, the last one, we're talking about science and faith in those weirder intersections. Where have I felt challenged? You know, I'm struggling to find a good example.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, even as I read scripture, it is one of those things where, again, people always want to science out the miracles.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole point of them being miraculous is even back then, people knew basic things. Like, people just don't walk on water. Well, what if he found rocks and shoals? Well, I mean, he's in the middle of a dang lake, people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, well, you know, we got to science it out. You know what I mean? Maybe it was winter, nobody knew it. Yeah, technically you can walk on water in the winter because it's ice, because that's really funny. You know, that's the great joke. I'm walking on water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's technically water in a solid state, so you are walking on it because it's solid. You know what I mean? But it was one of those things where the whole point with miracles, and even C.S. Lewis's argument was like, yeah, duh, that's the point. You know what I mean? These people are not de facto idiots that are like, I don't know how he's doing it. He must be in shallow water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's not like doing the whole like, ooh, I got my thumb up.
I was gonna say.
How did he do that with his thumb? You know? You know, I don't, you know, even with the Genesis account, you know, the account is in many ways, I don't think it was ever meant to be excessively literal in the scientific fact. Because you have the concept of, you know, it was evening, it was morning, it was a day. But again, the sun and the stars didn't exist until like the fourth day. So what you're getting is this orderly creation. And even then, you know, day is a relative term. A day is not 24 hours. On Earth, it's 24 hours, but there is no universal definition of day. Time is also relative. The more you get into, you know, Einstein's theories and those sorts of things, time is this hot, dirty mess. So that's just the speed of matter. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
So again, you know, a day. All right. You know, are our days getting shorter? You know, the twin paradox. And you get, in some ways, the deeper you get into some of the scientific stuff, the more complicated it gets. I was listening to something on NPR, and they were debating consciousness and self-awareness, which goes back to actually the most funky issue, I think, with science right now is, okay, self-awareness. You know what I mean by self-awareness, right?
Yeah.
Because you can have sentience, you can have sapience, and self-awareness. And the first test you kind of get with self-awareness is the mirror test. Not a lot of critters can pass the mirror test.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think dolphins can, elephants can, I think some other primates can.
Chickens can't.
No, chickens can't. I think an octopus has. You know what I mean? But every now and then you get these things that can pass the mirror test. You know? The mirror test, the simple thing is that if you can look and see your reflection and realize it's you,
Yeah.
you're along the way towards self-awareness. It's like when all of a sudden your dog sees itself in a mirror. It's like, there's a foreign creature attacking my house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it won't back down, so I won't back down. It's like, ah. Like my cat growing up, you know what I mean? Oh man, when it saw a mirror, it was always on because it's the most aggressive cat ever. It's like, you're on my turf. It's like, oh.
It just like flops into the
Just
mirror.
like, and it's like, oh, why is this cat invincible? The shield is protecting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and so those sort of things. And so there's self-awareness. And I was listening to this interesting thing of, so where does consciousness? And there's even supposedly behind the right lobe of your ear is this interesting ability to assess another person's point of view.
Is that the Borkus area?
I can't remember.
It's something like that.
But like between like ages of like 3 and 5, you develop the ability to be able to think that other people can have a different opinion than yours.
Yeah.
Up until that moment in time, no, other people can't have a different opinion.
We were just talking over this stuff in psychology. It was the
Yes.
level of morality. And it says there's the fundamental, which is you do what's right for a reward. And that's where like dogs are at, you know, like you like,
Pavlovian economic sort of thing.
Yeah. And then the next level is, well, I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do. Like, I can rob a guy and get a bunch of money, but it's against the law to rob a guy, so I'm not going to rob a guy. And so you're doing it only because you know that you're not supposed to do it. And then the next level after that is you don't do it because you know that it's wrong. Like, it's like, if they made a law, like, it's okay to rob a guy, when you're kind of like, I don't want to rob a guy, because I don't want to get robbed. And then, like, the final one is, like, past formal, like, reasoning. And it is, like, it's the deepest level, which is a lot of people don't think of things on this part. It is you put yourself in the other shoes of the person, and you kind of think of, like, the value of human life. Like, the example that we talked about was a guy's wife was diagnosed with a cancer, and the guy created the cure for a cancer, but it was ridiculously overpriced, and so he couldn't get the money to do it. So he snuck into the store and he stole the medicine to give to his wife. Is what he did right or wrong?
Well, and that's where you get into those conundrums and those sorts of things. Well, and then you even get the interesting concepts too of, well, the ethics we'll get into another moment too, but whatever that part of the brain is, but that develops. Yeah. And I was in the NPR thing, I can't remember what the name of it is, but it was able to see the other person's point of view, because they had some, like, puppet test and, like, some sandwich that blown off. I can't remember what the test is called.
Is that where it was where it was like the two puppets, one bullied the other puppet? Which one's the bad guy?
No, it was this. It was that there was Pirate A went and he had a sandwich and he put it down on the treasure chest and he's like, oh, you know what I mean? Yada yada yada. I forgot something. I went off. While he was gone, a wind blew a sandwich off onto the sand. Pirate B comes along, puts the sandwich down on top of the treasure chest and was going to eat it. Pirate A comes back and is upset because Pirate B is going to eat a sandwich. Mm-hmm. Younger kids still thought Pirate A had that sandwich on the box.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Older kids were able to grasp that, no, Pirate A's sandwich blew off, but I can get his perspective. No, I got that wrong. I butchered that. They knew that Pirate A's sandwich was on the ground, and they didn't get why Pirate A didn't know his sandwich was on the ground. Because they thought everyone had their same perspective on reality. And there was this a part in the brain, they were talking about NPR, and one of the great guys was like, we know where that is located. We know that it changes and evolves. We just don't know how. So you get these fascinating things where you go deeper into it, and you don't know. It's even like with the ethics. We know this ethics come up. You know what I mean? The economic one, every dog has it. If I do right, I get it. It's like Pavlov at some level. You know what I mean? But then you also get to the extent of, I do actives proactively for the good of others.
Yeah, that's...
You know what I mean? It's like the person that sees, like, a danger in the middle of the road. It's not in their way, but they go out of their way to remove the danger, to remove the possibility of damaging another human being. That's high-level ethical thought. You know what I mean? Of like, there is the possibility that this could create a dangerous situation with other human beings, therefore I'm going to do this. You know what I mean? At a low level, it's like, well, why would I do that? You know, it's like what I try to teach my kids. You need to do blank for these reasons. Yeah, and so, but how does this come about? We know that it does. We can map it in the brain, but we don't know why in some ways. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And the deeper you go with psychology and some of the biology and some of these other sorts of things, you get in these weird things. I mean, the psychology aspect of it is wild. And we're self-aware, which causes problems. I mean, self-awareness causes huge amounts of problems. I think it causes the greatest existential crisis, which is like going back to the whole entropy thing. If I am aware that I exist, there is then the de facto awareness that I cannot exist. And that freaks the crap out of you. You know what I mean? Like, you know, ants go along, like, whatever, man. You know what I mean? I don't think there's this existential crisis day. It's like, whoa, wait a second, guys. Are we being ethical in the building of our hive?
You see, that's when they make the Disney movies.
Guys.
Is that when they think of, like, what could we make self-aware next? A fish. Mm-hmm. Finding Nemo. What else can we do? What if cars were self-aware? We made cars.
Well, you want to bring up one of those interesting things? One of the side struggles then with either AI or artificial, those sorts of things, is that if we make a conscious machine, can we turn it off? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Can we turn it off? Isn't that murder?
Yeah, that brings up the dilemma. If a pig was raised all his life, but he was sentient, and for some reason the pig's like, you know what, I want to die. So you guys could eat me. Is it still ethical?
That you ever read the book The Pig That Wants to Be Eaten?
Yes, I have.
Okay, I have a copy up here, and that's one of those fundamental questions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the pig is self-aware, but the pig wants to be eaten. Those are some of those conundrums, and those are sorts of things. And even as you go deeper, you know what I mean? Where is consciousness? Where is consciousness located? Some guys postulated that it's at an atomic level, that atoms bear the ability to create consciousness, hence hive minds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are complex things. You know, science is useful, some of those sorts of things, but faith has its place. And so it's always trying to figure out the balance point between the two, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Which is not easy. It's harder, but I think it's a better road to carry than as in faith does not have a place, nor science has no place. I like science. I like dudes like Jonas Salk.
I've been reading Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury.
Yep. That's a good one.
I feel like it's time for our chat pack because we got to go wrapping up.
Oh, are we going on? We might have to
on.
hit some of these some more. Maybe we'll do more of those current events when they come up.
Yeah.
We like that.
It is pretty good. If you lived on a farm, which chore above all others would you definitely not want to do?
Not want to do? Farm. Chore, not want to do. I would not want to clean out the chicken coop. I hate bird crap worse than any other crap.
I had chickens once.
I'd rather do hog slop than any of that stuff, man. Chicken coop's the worst.
I'd say the worst for me would be like if you had an animal that was sick and having to put it out of its misery. I think that would be something that would be like a little too, you know.
Yeah.
Like if you had your farm horse and it broke its leg, like you can't really, you know, like it's something like that. Like that's where it becomes pretty hard.
Okay. Yep, it takes a certain level of balance to be able to give something a clean kill in those moments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I'd rather shoot the horse and clean up the poop. All right, you handle the chicken poop. I'll kill the horse. Fair enough.
That'll be one of the questions for our viewers today. And let's see, do we have another homework question for them?
Yeah. Again, you know, as we go through these things, where have you met people that have extended you grace in situations of misunderstanding? Because again, Peter and Jesus' big issue was a misunderstanding. And I think sometimes study people grace and misunderstanding is key. Because we want to assume that. And the other one is, too, is that as you find these balance points, what else in science do you think is an interesting struggle that faith and science need to both look at?
I think that's a pretty good question.
Those are good ones. Nick, always a pleasure.
Yes. Keep on stumbling, viewers. See ya.